the big applause for the semi-final coming up in the 1987 Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic. Sees the clash of the second seed, Barbara Richmond from Tygum, against the number 3 seed from Zilmere, Alison Wood. Our commentators, Terry Wenban.
How are you today, Alan?
Fit as a fiddle. And, of course, Steve Mackey.
Yes, and Alison Wood. Well, bit of a boil over in that last match, I suppose, when she beat the defending champion by 23 pins. Let's see if she can carry on with the job.
Not a great start, is it?
No, that ball was trying to come up to the head pin, but the pins did nothing. They fell into the gutter and stayed there. Well, she can get this, but she needs to have pinpoint accuracy.
Having our first look at Barbara Richmond from Tygum. She has bowled a perfect score of 300, and she's been in great form. She's won the 87 Sunshine Special, the Adelaide Cup and the Vic 150 all this year in superb form.
That's the sort of form she's been displaying all year, Alan. And she's won 23 out of her last 28 tournaments since October 1986 with form like that.
Yes, Barbara throws probably the best ball in women's bowling, I think. And this year especially, she's been very aggressive.
She certainly has, Terry, and, well, she's a nuggety competitor, never stops trying. Yeah, she's improved out of sight, and it's an amazing turnaround in just the past year or so to become a winner. She was certainly one of the bridesmaids of the sport. She had a couple of victories early on in her career, including an Australian Open in the late 70s, and then went into a shell for a long time, and she's broken away from the shadow of the Ruth Gerses and Jeanette Baker-Flynn's and come into her own in 87. But of course, Alison Wood is no spring chicken in the game. She's been bowling since she was 13 years of age. She gave it away for a little while a few years ago. She's just been back on the lanes this year, and she's come back with a vengeance.
Alison Wood, of course, from Zilmere. She's a company director, and her highest game score, 277. Won the Australian Open in 1972. She's won the Queensland Masters twice, the Brisbane Masters once. And when she's not bowling, she likes to listen to a little bit of music and read a book.
Well, she better read a book now on how to spare this in a hurry, because she's going to be a long way behind if she opens 2 frames against Barbara Richmond, which she's done. 17 in the second frame, Barbara Richmond 20 in the first.
Yes, I don't really think you'd like to give Barbara Richmond any sort of an advantage in this match. If Alison Wood doesn't do something straight away, Barbara's going to crawl all over the top of her.
Yes, that's for sure. Well, Alison Wood, 3rd frame.
Only needed, what, 1 more?
Yes, that was a good result for her there. Gave the ball a little bit more air. She threw it out on the lane a little better when she had a go. Let's have a look. A lot of supporters up here has Barbara Richmond. She's been responsible for improving a lot of the women up here. She's been doing a lot of coaching. And in the meantime, helping her own game, obviously.
Oh, she's hot. Barbara Richmond on fire in the semi-final against Alison Wood. You're watching the 1987 Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic, and at the end of the 3rd frame, Barbara Richmond leads Alison Wood by 23. Here's the leader, Barbara Richmond. She leads by 23 pins.
Looks a chance. taking a deep breath on the way back there to the seat while she contemplates her next two shots. Hoping that they'll be just like that one.
And over. A confidence booster, I think, gentlemen.
Yes, and full marks for her there. She's got a good attitude. She's a fighter, this girl. She's a real fighter. And there they all go. With that reaction by Alison. She needs to keep going, Terry.
Yeah, she really needs to get another one here. She's concentrating hard, too. She's left that 8-10 again. The ball's not reacting as it was previously. It's fading out to the right before, as it gets into the pins, and the 8-10 may stand up quite a few times if she persists with that.
Well, I noticed she bowls a 16-pound ball on a dossier here. Do you think she'd do any better if she had a lighter ball, perhaps?
She had a lighter ball. The ball would react better. It wouldn't roll as heavily on the lane, and it'd probably turn a bit more in the end, and she wouldn't be leaving it. I don't think. She wants to get better deflection.
Well, that's a couple of disaster balls for Alison Wood. Those two 8-10s in the first 5 frames could easily have been a couple of strikes. Perhaps she can take a leaf out of Terry's very experienced book there and go to a lighter weight. But we're back now with Barbara Richmond looking for 3 in a row.
She's getting plenty of encouragement from the crowd in the gallery, and she deserves it.
That's a great shot. You know, Barbara over the last couple of months hasn't really had such a good form. Earlier in the year, she was devastating. I think she's really into this tournament to win it and to really show that she's back in business.
Looking for 4 strikes.
Well, what's this do to Alison Wood? All she sees the pins going down and people cheering.
Yes, her confidence would be pretty much rock bottom now. It'll be a great effort if she can come back. That's a good girl. Bit of a smile on her face there. Well, not much you can do against a bowler of Barbara Richmond's ability in such devastating form. Barbara, on top of all those other tournament victories she had, also won the first Test Masters against the Americans, and that was a big feather in her cap a few months ago.
Alison at the moment's got to be looking to stay solid for probably the next couple of frames. Her only hope now really is if Barbara makes an error in a game, tries to get too cute and tries to get a bit too complacent.
Is she a type of player likely to do that, though?
Oh, I don't think Barbara's really pumped up. I think Barbara's liable to throw 3 or 4 more.
Well, that's not much difference for Alison Wood there between a strike and an 8-10 split. But as Terry said, she has to keep solid for the rest of the game and hope that Barbara makes a fatal error. Looking for 5.
Now, see there, she threw one a little bit wide, but it really hasn't caused her any problems. She should pick this up pretty well. It really isn't that hard a sphere, and she's bowling very well at the moment. Just depends actually where she puts it, because she's bowling down the left-hand side. So it'll be interesting to see if the ball slides to the right.
No trouble at all.
No, she played that straight at it, and the lane carried it away.
You're watching the 1987 Goldpin Coca
ahead, top of the 8th, and looking for another strike. Good shot, Barbara.
Realistically, has Alison Wood got any chance of pegging her back?
Oh, yeah, she has. If she can get another 5 strikes in a row, she'll shoot a game, 205 or so. Barbara Richmond wouldn't want to do too much wrong. She's shooting at a 220-odd pace at the moment. Oh, and she eased off on that, Terry.
Yeah, with that shot, she just came more straight up the ball. Like she did when she went for the spare in the second frame. If you just bowl straight up the ball, it doesn't finish, doesn't hook in the back end, and just goes straight for the last 10 feet.
It certainly did there. Well, Alison Wood needs a strike. She's got it. Still alive.
A great shot. She's staying in this match. And really, it's possible for her to win here. It really is.
Yeah, she needs another strike now. Of course, this match play style where the opponent sits in the chair for 2 shots, if Alison can get up now and add another strike, that'll be the last 3 shots as strikes. Puts a bit of pressure on Richmond. Well, she probably needed that strike there and pulled the ball just a little bit high, Terry. I think the backswing perhaps just a fraction higher than before.
Yeah, I think she tried to give that one a bit too much. I think she was more thinking of the result rather than thinking of a shot. You know, in this position at the moment, Barbara doesn't have too much to worry about. She'd just be thinking about getting rid of the match.
Well, the last couple of shots of Alison Wood. 2 strikes and a spare, cut the lead to 52 pins, but Barbara Richmond certainly in the box seat, top of the 9th for her. The winner of this match goes on to meet the top-seeded Jeanette Baker-Flynn for the trip to the British Open with Qantas.
There's not really much Barbara. All Barbara's got to do is stay clean. I think, well, the best Alison can do is 151.84, whereas Barbara has almost got that now, even if she misses this. I think in this situation, Steve, you'd be looking forward to the next match?
Very much so, and particularly against Jeanette Baker-Flynn, you know you've won a tournament when you've beaten her. She wouldn't have wanted to do that a couple of frames ago. Alison Wood would have got a lot of heart from that, but it's all academic now. Barbara Richmond will just be trying to keep her hand in shape and her mind in gear for the onslaught of Jeanette Baker-Flynn in our women's grand final. Yes, just going back to that British Open tournament, that's a great event over in Nottingham in 1988. There's a 48-lane centre there, and the grand final winners in the men's and women's divisions will be going there to bowl against the best of the Europeans. And Terry, you were over at the World Championships in Helsinki earlier this year. I guess the Swedes are the hot favourites in the British Open and anything that's held on the continent. Yes,
the Swedes are very competitive. They've got I think their actual national federal budget, 25% of that is spent on bowling. So when a country puts that much money into the game, you can promote some good sportsmen.
I guess about the other 25% would probably be going into tennis.
Yes, they've produced quite a few good ones there, haven't they?
Well, that game could have been anything for Barbara Richmond. She's going to shoot a game in the 2 teens. Looked like a double there, but not to be. So it'll be a game of 2-11 and very easy win. The highest game we've had so far in the women's division.
Did it very well. Alison Wood to finish out.
Yeah, Barbara wouldn't want to ease off at the end against Jeanette Baker.
And as we've seen so often, when the pressure's off, the forearm relaxes and, of course, strikes result.
Isn't it easy, Steve? How many times have yourself got up in that situation? The match is well out of your grasp and you just ease off and you just strike with the greatest of ease.
Yes, and it's quite annoying knowing that, well, she didn't bowl that bad a game. A couple of 8-10s there. If they'd been a little more free and easy when she let it go, it would have been a big difference in the score. But not a bad effort by Alison Wood coming back to the game. She beat the defending champion, Joellen Day, put her out of business, and she's finished 3rd in this year's Coca-Cola Goldpin Classic.
And there it is. The applause for Barbara Richmond. Wins the semi-final against Alison Wood by 211 to 174. A win by 37 pins. And now Barbara Richmond goes on to play Jeanette Baker-Flynn in the final. Final with a win over Alison Wood in the semi. Alison, she went about 4 strikes in a row early in the piece, and it was pretty hard to peg back, wasn't it?
Yeah, she's an excellent bowler. I had a couple of bad breaks, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah, even when you were down by so much after about 4 frames, you didn't willingly concede?
Oh, no, you never concede for the last frame, that's for sure. You never know.
OK, Alison, I've got a cheque here from Coca-Cola for $725, just to ease the pain a little bit, eh?
Thank you very much.
OK.
Thank you, Alan.
Barbara, you went berserk. What, frames 3, 4, 5 and 6? All those pins just kept knocking head over turkey. What happened?
Well, I either delivered the ball properly or got lucky.
Yeah, put them in the right slot.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I've been practicing a bit here.
All right, a couple of little misses after that.
One miss.
Right. You've got the big final coming up now against Jeanette Baker-Flynn. Pretty tough opposition.
Yeah, Jeanette's always a tough opponent. But I've had a few wins. She's had a few wins, so we'll see what happens in the next match.
Did you bring your own fan club along? People screaming and yelling everywhere?
I think I've got a pretty good crowd up there.
Yeah. Well, you played well, and you deserve all the cheering that was behind you. You did it well. Congratulations.
Thanks, Ellen.
That's the winner, Barbara Richmond, and of course, our next match will be the final between Barbara and Jeanette Baker-Flynn, and that's next when we return with the Goldpin Coca-Cola Classic.